So the three best ways to save a lot of money when searching for a home on Zillow or Realtor.com or Trulia or Redfin. Right now, we're going to just look at Zillow. In the next few days, I'll be looking at the other websites. Okay, so there's three ways. One is to find a home that's worth more than the listing price. Now, the easiest way to find that is Solar Homes. We'll cover that more in the end of this 5 minutes. And then I'll say if you want to go to our masterclass, I have one at winnerscheck.com that talks about the many different ways you can save 5 to 10% easily on a solar home. And in part, if you're getting the panels free and clear, that's $20,000 or $30,000 you don't have to pay for the panels, but you're still getting the savings, which could be $500 a month in electricity. And if you consider what that is at like a 4% mortgage, 30-year fixed, that's like $100,000 a mortgage you're buying right there. So right there on $1 million home, that's like a 10% savings to someone using a mortgage. If you're considering what your buying power is. And many people, it's been said many times, people buy house payments more than they're buying the house. They find out how much they can spend, and then they figure out that translates to this much house. And when interest rates change, like they go up, then they can buy less of a house. And that's why the market's so sensitive to changes in interest rates, because people are buying their payments. So in this case, you're getting a $100,000 pop. I can go more into it at winnerscheck.com. But while you're doing that, I think the easiest thing to do is not let an agent become the procuring cause until you're ready. Consequently, you can negotiate with them to save on real estate commissions. And then finally, if you are working with the listing agent and you get the information, you develop a rapport, you can use that rapport to try to get the home at a better price, because as the agent becomes more comfortable with you and they know you can close and they become familiar with you, they can report to their sellers, hey, these people are going to close. They're motivated. They know all about your home. They're well qualified. I would work with them rather than taking a risk with these other people. And if there are other people offering, they can make sure that you'll get the house, even if you have to pay what that bid is. And that's also worth something. So that's 3 bites at this apple. And let's go see what I'm talking about. So I picked Poway because I live in Poway. And I'll just pick this first home. And I have an account at Zillow as an agent. I've sold over 170 homes, and I've sold some because I used to put them up on Zillow. Zillow was really good for a while. It still is. But you wouldn't likely see your name in there, I don't think. But then you'll come down and you'll see these agents. Now, generally, I've found, not all the time, but most of the time, the listing agent is the first agent. And then, at least in San Diego, it can be different. Every MLS is different because I don't think our MLS sends the data to Zillow automatically. As an agent, last time I checked, I had to okay it to go to Zillow. So I think, at least in San Diego, Zillow puts the listing agent at the top. But the way you can usually do this on all websites, and it can be confusing, is don't pay attention to these things that make it easy in the beginning. Scroll down until you get to this thing, listed and provided by. Now, generally, you're going to see the listing agent's name, but frequently you're going to see the brokerage's phone number. When you call a brokerage, you might get an updesk agent. That's an industry term. That just means an agent will answer the phones so they can get a client. You're not necessarily going to get rung through to listing agent. It depends on the brokerage, and it depends frequently on the size of the brokerage. But if you see that it's Brennan and Lindsay Gates here, and you see like a 00 number there, that might be a brokerage. You come up here and you see most likely their direct line or the line they want clients to call on and future clients. And this is where you're going to call to get the information. Now, you're going to ask them about the disclosures. You just say, hey, we're really interested in the home. I want to know if there's going to be anything in the disclosures that would be a surprise to me. And you're going to find some agents have already done the disclosures. Some agents aren't. You're like, okay, well, that's okay, because I understand. I'm sure I'll get them soon after, if we make an offer, soon after we have a signed contract. But I was wondering, when you've been to the property, is it, the pictures look great, or whatever you found in the pictures, but are you aware of anything that might impact the value negatively and positively? And then the agent can kind of let you know. And then, as you're getting a feel for the agent, you've asked a few questions. You can just say, I am motivated. I'd love to get a nice price in this home, but I understand all different sellers. There's all different kinds of sellers. Is this the type of seller that would appreciate a strong offer, or a quick offer? with no hassles, or are they looking for top dollar? You can get a feel that way. A smart agent's going to say, well, you can always make an offer, and then we can negotiate it. So, the important thing is that an agent should be bringing offers in, even if they come in undervalued, because they can always try to negotiate more. The seller can say no. And then somewhere along the line, you say, by the way, are you working with any other buyers right now? Are you expecting any offers to come in? And you get a feel that way and say, hey, great, thank you. I'm going to call you back if I'd like to have a showing. Or maybe an agent I contact will. But in the meantime, thank you for the information. And now you're winnowing down your winnowing down your list. You're taking all these homes and you're making a list. Maybe you're going to look 4 or 5, and then you decide how much work you're going to do. If you want to work with the listing agents directly, but you're willing to do a lot of work, you might be happy. Like, for instance, I have a plan where people call me up because they were working with the listing agents only, but they wanted a realtor, I'm also a lawyer, to oversee the transaction. And in that case, I used to charge people by the hour, but I recognized the fact that it was a problem because escrow and title and sometimes the seller's agents wanted me to respond. My client didn't want to pay me for another half an hour's worth of work or an hour, and they try to do it, and it would take too long. And then they call back and ask what the problem was, and that can sometimes turn into what looked like a problem buyer. So I've learned that I'm going to work a flat fee deal with you that you're happy with, and then you can work directly with the agent, and then I can either get a big referral on that deal that I would split with you, or if it's in California, I could represent you as a buyer agent. Although the one issue I've run into in the past on homes that are far away are we have to sign some paperwork saying you understand that I have not seen the property, and I've been working with you in a capacity in which you were doing some of the work, and I was in exchange giving you a significant portion of my compensation. So anyway, the takeaway from this is if you are looking to buy homes and you want to get great information and say the real estate fees for a buyer can frequently be 2 to 3%. So you might be able to save 2% on the real estate commission, maybe more, depending on what you work out with me and the size of the home that you're purchasing, the purchase price. So you can save money on real estate fees. You can save money by building rapport with the listing agent and negotiating, or your representative can do that. And that's by asking good questions and then doing what you say you're going to do. And then finally, I really suggest in areas like coastal San Diego might have 10 to 15% in North County of the homes could have solar panels on them. As you go inland, like for instance, by the time you get to Poway right now, 18, here, let me just show you. So if we search on here and we type in solar, so it was 82 homes for sale, and there's 19 with solar. So over 20% of the homes have solar, and most of the time, lately I've been seeing, most of the time the solar is owned. So if that solar transfers you to free and clear, you're saving $500 a month on electricity, probably in Poway with the size of the homes that we have and the sun and the air conditioning people spend. And you're not having to spend $30,000 on the system. So it's like a 50 to 100, as I said earlier, at 4%, $500 a month is more than $100,000. So you can be saving 5 to 10% on the cost of the home. Plus, you can do those other 2 dips because you're already doing the work. So, if my approach would be look for solar first. If you don't see solar homes that you like, still contact a listing agent, do the same work as if it was solar, and you can save more than 10% if you put all that together. And if you would like help doing this, there's more information and opportunity at winnerscheck.com to set up a free strategy session with me where I ask you some questions. I develop, I help you develop the strategies that you'd like to use and deploy. I tell you how I would go about doing it if I were you, and then I give you an opportunity to work with me. And we can do that sometimes in 5 or 10 minutes. Sometimes it takes a half an hour, depending on where you are in your home search. So anyway, that's it for today. John McConnin, winnerscheck.com. That's how I would use Zillow. You can do it that way anywhere. Thank you.